The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi guys, going to start in 2 or 3 minutes. Just going to let people get onto the webinar and give them a couple of minutes to get set up. I will be on mute for the next couple of minutes and then we'll start just after 2:30. Thank you. Hi guys, I'm going to start now with the Spring Summer Value webinar. I am Paul Beedon, Food Ops Manager for Local Pub South. Going to go through a few of the marketing slides, a bit about best practice in terms of steak and oil and prepping up for success. Then I'm going to go on to, just got to cover a bit on allergens as well, a bit about stock control, and then lastly finish up with the slides and discussion around the new menu and how we're going to launch that menu back at site. I am recording this session and I will send the video out with the slides at the end of the week, so you have got something if members of your team have missed the webinar, you can still use this as a training tool. If you have got any questions, you'd like to send them to email them to myself after the webinar, and I'll collect them all and answer them tonight and tomorrow. So just to paulbeedling@greenking.co.uk. So just to go through the marketing slides with you, the menu goes live on the Tuesday, 19th of March, and your POS will start being delivered week commencing the 4th of March. It's really important that if your POS doesn't turn up, that you do flag it as soon as possible. Do check all the boxes as well to make sure that everything is there. So objectives for the Spring Summer 19 Value Locals menu. Our brand promise, obviously as usual with Value Locals, we're a great Green King local pub offering great value every day for food and drink. Trying to be a great local pub to enjoy drink with friends, excellent value for money, really showing real hospitality and being at heart of the community. But also, especially what was quite good at the last weekend, being the home of sports in the community. A lot of our pubs are very, very heavily sports led. So this is another theme obviously need to continue through the menu with drinks and with food. And always being passionate, personable, and always down to earth. So the key priorities for spring summer to entice guests into our pubs are acting local. This is a strong point of the local pub businesses, what we can do as a business to engage our customers to come visit us. So some really good examples around the different patches, quiz night, sports activities, karaoke, bands, whatever can get the customers into your pub from the local area will really, really help drive spend per head and obviously sales. And also, as mentioned before, sports. We are the home of sports in the community. If it's rugby, football, boxing, whether it's really important that this is a strong part of our offer. The key menu activity for spring summer, driving everyday value throughout the menu, slightly changing on the front cover and photography of the menus to highlight the new dishes, introducing some new dishes to increase interest and show evolution in our offerings, also maintaining a strong rhythm of the week offer, giving guests everyday reasons to visit the pubs. The vegan menu is now compulsory in every business, so that's opening up the business to a wider demographic. The vegan market is an ever-growing market and an ever-influential market, especially if you've got friends or family members that are vegan, that will dictate where you go to eat. So if we can offer this vegan menu, it will entice different people into our businesses. New drinks menu to ensure we stay ahead of trends and offer the newest, most relevant products for our guests. So just a little bit on performance and where we sit in terms of the value segment. MPS and TripAdvisor score are better than last year, however, we're receiving a slightly higher rate of complaints than last year, but we have got a lot more high volume of TripAdvisor feedback as well. Looking at performance, our cover performance continues to climb with year-to-date average of -6.7%, but that's not too far away and is quite in line with other brands within Greene King. In terms of the menu and the look of the menu, obviously there's some pictures there for you to look at. Obviously you'll be getting yours week beginning 4th of March. So we will no longer be running the buy any drink and get a sandwich and chips from deal. This will now just be an offer of an upsell of a drink from £1 extra. We've got 2 new desserts with the introduction of a Macmillan dessert sticky toffee pudding and also our banoffee pie. Again, I'll go through that in more detail later on. We've also got a 600 calorie section has been included to help customers' decisions on healthier choices. And also the bottom right there, you've got sections that match the colours of their corresponding POS, i.e. Sunday specials in orange to be in line with Rhythm of the Week panel inside the menu as well. The menu, further on with the menu, we've created a bigger starters and sharer section which combines all our sports food into one area. We've also put a little section on there about the increased awareness of the season ticket at 10% off to push sign-ups. So as I said on the first slide, we're really big, heavily sports-led pubs. So having that section in a prominent position, advertising a season ticket is really going to try and drive that message and also drive covers and spend per head into the business. So if people are coming in for a drink, they have got the offer of the starters and the sharers to eat as well. We will not be continuing the trial of adding burgers into the 2-for offer. Instead, this will remain as an upsell of a drink from £1. We have some new additions to our burger section with the gourmet burger and the miso and hoisin veggie burger. That's also available in a vegan option. But again, I'll go through that in more detail later on. Sections are much more clearer and concise to help guests navigate around the menu. So menu stacks and your bolt-on menus. Your full menu stack would sit like the image on the right hand side there. So you've got your full menu at the back, followed by your drinks menu, your kids menu, your non-containing gluten ingredient menu, breakfast menu and the vegan menu. So vegan is no longer optional and will now be compulsory in every site. Breakfast menus will be available to order from Post or Little White Van, and Braille menus are also available through the same process at a house cost. Full menu season ticket sites will also receive a sports menu to push quick sports beer food in sports-led zones in the pub. So if you are a busy sports pub, you will be receiving these sports menus that help drive spend ahead on people that come to watch the sports so they can eat while they drink, watch the football or the rugby. Kids menu. For this cycle, you receive a new kids menu. This is a complete revamp. All local segments will be receiving the same kids menu. So this is Flaming Grill have taken the full version of this menu. So it's totally been redesigned. So it's a space theme to be neutral for both boys and girls. There's some fun facts on there, and you get given some activity sheets as well. The menu is based on a pick and mix, depending on the age of the child, either 3+ or 8+, $2.99, $3.99 respectively. An additional perfect place for these 2 age groups, giving a wider variety of choice. There's also the introduction of baby food on the menu from 4+ months to 2 years. just trying to make us more family friendly as well. So there is a better kid menu and also a baby food option as well. Rhythm of the Week, all core Rhythm of the Week offer remains the same for this cycle. So those that did the trial on the adding the burgers in the 2 for and the buy the drink and get a sandwich and chips from $3.50, these will not be continued for the spring summer 19 menu. All the details are there on the slide. What's in, what's out? Just go through this briefly as I'll be talking about it in more detail further on. So the menu does feature some changes in the additions and deletions. I've sent these out to all your pubs, the additions and deletions. So just important you go through that and go through that again after you see the webinar today. Spec changes play a significant role in the new menu. Changes are as follow, and again I'll go through this in more detail. Mushrooms being removed from all the dishes with the exception of the breakfast menu. Garlic shea batter and garlic shea batter with cheese will now be moving to the garlic bread slices. 5-ounce steak will be moving to the 4-ounce steak on the surf, turf and cluck and the mixed grill and rump steak. Coleslaw will be removed from all burgers and replaced with a ketchup dip pot. We've also, as previously mentioned, launched 2 new burgers with our miso and hoisin veggie vegan burger and also our gourmet burger. Just going to touch on the drinks menu. So this will go live in line with your food menus on Tuesday the 19th of March. And as mentioned before, it will sit in the menu stack, so trying to create less clutter on the tables and the reduction in the number of table talkers, which will only be sent out for larger campaigns. The new drinks range has been aligned to all value brands. WKD is being removed and replaced with VK pubs. So you'll need to run down your stocks in pubs and then order the VK version. Auto drops and new products delivered the week commencing 4th of March, and your list is on the right hand side. The aim is to create a range that cannot be found in the supermarkets and make it bespoke for Green King. The Fizz Friday offer will remain the same. So below is some of the new products you will be receiving. So you have the Beefeater Blood Orange Gin, Bacardi Ginger, the Coffee Tequila, the Blue VK and the Schweppes Salty Lemon Tonic as a mixer. So the look and feel of the drinks menu. We've added tasting notes to our whiskey to give a guest a better insight into the products available. Our signature serve is Martin's Miller's Gin with a salty lemon tonic. We continue to perform ahead of the market with gin, which is a key area that we need to keep pushing. Double Up remains for £1.50. Again, this is a really good offer and one that we do really well at, so it's really good to drive in spend ahead as well and sort of engagement with the customer. 2 for £5 craft is still available. This is now being renamed as the Beer Adventure section, and the front cover design is to hero some of our new products. Carrying on with the drinks menu, we now have 2 different cocktail offers, our standard and premium cocktails, with our 2 new cocktails being the Ginberry Fizz and Pessoa Sangria featuring in the premium section. We also focus on increasing our low to no alcohol offerings in line with market trends and to promote sensible drinking. Gin of the month concept. So this is a new thing that will be starting for March and April. So gin, as I said before, is still a massive area of the drinks market and one that is still continuing to grow. So obviously to try and keep up the trend and try and entice customers into the businesses, we have launched the idea of a gin of the month concept. Customers are always looking for new flavors and new trends, new flavor profiles. So it was a review at head office and decided that the value brand would implement a gin of the month to help drive awareness and sales of these new gins without the need of adding these onto a permanent drinks menu. So these gins would only be available for this period and to help promote the point and to drive maximum appeal. So the first gin will be the Beefeater Pink Gin for March and April. So it's really important that we get behind this and really advertise as well. That's going to happen in 3 ways. So obviously social media, digital assets will be available sites to post on social media. These will be shared on Conchero and the Vault when available. Also on there will also be a website, our favourite gin page will be created and will feature on the drinks pages of all the pubs. There'll also be a video of how to, which will share like how to execute a Beefeater Perfect Serve. This will be shared as soon as possible as available, but it's a really, really good offer and it's obviously really popular in most of your pubs, gin, so something we really need to get behind and push. I'm just going to touch on menu launch again, but we'll discuss this a bit later on as well. So we need to really try and make sure that we hit the ground running when it comes to Tuesday, 19th of March, when you go live. So what can we do to do that? So new dishes being promoted visibly on a menu hanger, acting local support to drive launch from the ground, centrally pushed digital promotion for all the pubs, and obviously your POS will be being delivered from the 4th of March. Key objectives for the menu: try and excite the customer with our new dishes and drive volume of these dishes. Ensure our message of great food and great value is pushed. Driving footfall and new customers through launch parties and sporting occasions. Utilising suppliers to drive awareness of new drink range through social channels and email. External and internal posters that you'll be receiving. And also guide on launch parties activity to drive customer engagement with the new dishes, such as quizzes on food, raffles, entertainment, decoration, customer votes, and other games. Obviously, there will be the usual social media assets for Pub on Consiero, such as gifts and boomerangs. New menu page on the website and homepage refresh as well. Go in more detail about the menu launch, but this is obviously the key part of the menu, is what you can get, what you can deliver to the customers and entice them back into your business. So you may have customers that always come in, so them having a new menu or trying the new drinks range will be really, really key to retain them customers. But also think of customers that aren't coming into your business. Have we upset them or we lost them in the past? Can we offer them back into the business to put things right? Or have you got an office near where your pub is that don't normally come in, but entice them in again for the new menu, new drinks range, new food? Try and show off what we can do, and obviously that's just going to drive customer footfall and drive your sales as well. So I just want to touch on benchmarking before we go into sort of more menu and food related issues. So value benchmarking for P10 was the 4th best across all of these segments in drinking and our competitors. Scored an average of 8.65, which is absolutely brilliant, and it's tracking year to date at 8.02, which is a really, really strong score. We found since the menu changed in October that the score has just continually got higher and higher and higher. The change we did in October was a really, really strong change, and we've seen the scores improve since then. That is part of the reason why you're not having a massive change this time. The menu is performing really well. The scores are coming up, and I think the amount of change we had last time is just settling in now, and it is improving. So that's really, really good. What we do find though is when we're brilliant, when we are at our best, sometimes it is top notch, but the inconsistencies sometimes do let us down. Just looking at the scores for the benchmarking, steak pie remains quite high, 8.78. A cheese and bacon burger is really, really well, 8.97. That's one of the best. That is the best score across the value sector. Fish and chips again scoring really, really well. Rump steak not too bad, 8.55, again really good. Chicken is our lowest score, 8.41. As you see from the pictures below, inconsistency. So 1 out of 10, 3 out of 10. A lot of this is to do with how the product is cooked and how it looks on the plate. So for all those who came to the menu training in September, October last year, we did an exercise on the top 5 and cold plating. Did we know our specs? Did we know the weight? Did we know where things go on the plate? It's really key that we look at that again. Do we know what the spec weight is for mash, for peas, for veg, for chips, for fries? Are we cooking the ingredients correctly? Are we following the spec? So it's always good that we follow that process. On that note, just a little bit on prepping up and setting up for success. So this is really, really key for your businesses, especially coming into the spring, summer, where the sun starts shining, especially if you've got beer gardens or big outside areas. The volume that's going to come through your kitchens is going to just steadily increase, and more food's going to come in, go out of your kitchen. So it's important that you're prepared for this and you hit the ground running, so you're not caught out. So pre-portioning key items. So again, we talked about it last year at the menu training. Chips, fries, peppers, onions. What are you using a lot of? What will help you speed up service? This is all about helping you guys. So If you're consistent with your weighted chips, for example, customer consistency, food quality, but also your stock. So think of it as those three things: consistency, food quality, and your stocks. So pre-portioning where you can. Again, granted, some of your kitchens aren't as big and have as much holding as others, so you use it in key areas. Kitchen layout, equipment and fridge and freezer layout is crucial, so minimizing the steps you have to take to get a product or get the food out of the kitchen. If you have all the items you need for a steak on the other side of the kitchen, so every time you go and get it, you need to go to the other side of the kitchen, get your steak, your mushroom, your tomato. It's just making the journey more difficult for you, making you more stressed, but also slowing down the whole process. Prep and par, okay, we talked about this all the time. This is something we're getting better at, but we still need to land this fully. So you can find it on Dimensions by typing in GK Prep, and it'll give you two lists. One will be a defrost list, one will be a prep list. Using this is done based on your last 3 weeks of sales. It'll give you a good guide of what you need for that day. This is only a guide though. If you've got the England-Wales game, that's on was last Saturday. If that's going to be a manic day for you, you would look at your prep and par and you think, well, that's not right. We're going to be actually rammed today, so I'll get more stuff out. I'll be prepared. So using this as a guide, but also using your knowledge as a GM and a KM of your business to make it work for you. Defrosting the night before, really, really important. So you're using your prep and par, do your defrost in the evening. Because what I'm finding, some kitchens go in the morning, they're getting the frozen stuff out at 10:30. They're starting to do lunch at 11 o'clock, 11:30. The pies aren't going to be defrosted, lasagnas aren't going to be defrosted. That's just going to lead to poor food quality and high wastage. So defrost night before in the fridge overnight, really, really important. Scales, how can we portion out items without pre-weighing your food? So really important that you have a working pair of scales. I go into kitchens that I've got scales, but they don't work. We'll get them to work, get batteries, or get new scales. Really important. Obviously, weighing the food, that needs to go in something, polypots or polybags. Really important that you use these. It will help you speed of service, your consistency of your food delivery, and also your stock. So big ones would always be for me, sort of beans, peas, veg mash, or burnt ends as well is always a good one. That is where you find the GK Prep report as discussed. So GK Prep in Dimensions, and run it, and it will give you your prep list and defrost list for that week, but based on your last 3 weeks of sales. So just going to go through the top 10 dishes. So again, we went through this last year. These never really change, if I'm honest. These are always going to be your key dishes. So the delivery of these are sort of paramount to the success of your food offer. You've got your rump steaks, your gammon, your fish and chips, your hunters, your breakfast, your steak and ale pie, your burgers, and your scampi and your fully loaded chicken strips. So these make up 70% of your food sales in value. So if you get these right consistently, you're going to have happy customers, and you're going to increase your sales. If you don't get these right, it's going to have the opposite effect. You're going to lose food quality, customer journey, and sales are going to start declining. So it's really important that we follow some basics when it comes to the top 10 dishes. So on the subject of the top 10 dishes, so hot food at all times is one that's sort of starting to come up a little bit more and more complaints. So where sites do have hot cupboards or hot lights, make sure they are working. If they're broken, please flag it. I think the one we are finding is that those do have hot lights. If a bulb is missing, all of the bulbs don't necessarily go to B&Q, because those would be the wrong bulbs for that type of pass or hot cupboard. Putting one in from B&Q or the supermarket just causes more damage. So we do get you need all of these from Micro Lighting, and there's all the information is on the voltage you just put in bulbs. I'll give you all the information you need, but really important that these are working. Also about this, we need to think about hot food all the time. So my biggest thing here is like putting hot food onto hot plates, cold food onto cold plates. So really important that we follow this. Sounds really simple, but the amount of times we put hot food onto cold plates, instantly that's starting to cool down, and the plate will just make it colder and colder and colder. Again, guest journey, food quality is going to be affected by this. Only cooking chips and fries to order. So we tend to get in the habit of batch cooking. You see the tickets coming in, open up a bag of chips, pour it into the fryer, cook it off, then you realise you only need 2 or 3 portions. So one or two things happen. You throw away the chips, or you put the chips, you redunk them in the fryer. Well, food quality, stock loss, 2 major things that are a factor from that. Microwaving veg at last minute. So if you've got a Sunday roast, for example, you wouldn't put the Sunday veg on first because the veg will get colder quicker. So making sure that the veg, peas, gravy goes on last when it's hot. Resting steaks under the hot lights, so this allows them to rest but not get cold. Talk a bit more about steaks later. Using metal bowls of chips and fries, keep them under the lights. Obviously pulling out plates at the last minute when you can. This is really one for Sunday roast. Pouring piping hot gravy onto the roast just before they leave the kitchen. And pointing the air vents where you can away from the gantries. So we talked about this quite often, about oil and fish. So this is getting better, guys, but we still have some complaints about the batter and how we look after the fish and the batter. So what we need to do is, if you are making a big batch and you are a bit busier food site, you can make that batch but only bring little portions out at a time. If you have a big bucket of batter mix and you batter 15-20 fish during a lunch service, every time you put that fish into the batter, the flour comes off, it thickens the batter, so that the 21st fish you've done over lunch, the batter will be really, really thick. You fry it and there'll be like a film of oil between the fish and the batter, so when the customer cuts into it, all this oil comes out, so it's a really negative food experience. So it's really important that we do that little and often. Again, oil management kits, we should all have these. If not, let's make sure we do. Seeing more and more sites with them, but I see them in the kitchens but not necessarily being used, so it's important that we are using these. Just to touch on cascading again, new oil into the chip fryer always, and that gets filtered daily and cascaded into the breaded fryer when ready. And this gets filtered, cascaded into the fish, gets filtered, then we get rid of it, it gets recycled. So it's really important that we follow that process. Shouldn't be going into the kitchen and finding 3 fryers with brand new oil in each fryer. That shows we haven't filtered or used the process. We've just basically used all the 3 fryers to the end of their oil shelf life, dropped them, got rid of them, put 3 new tubs in. So again, that's going to be detrimental to food quality and also your stock. A little bit on steaks, we talked about resting steaks. Just want you to remember 3 key things when it comes to steak. Letting it breathe before you put it onto the grill, so giving it some time to breathe. So we shouldn't be opening it straight from packet, put it on the grill, or you'll get that metallic taste in the steak. So in the morning, get your steaks out, put them in your tub, make sure you get them breathe. So that metallic taste is really prominent if you just put it straight on the grill from the packet. Seasoning your steak, again, this is a massive point we need to focus on. The difference between an unseasoned steak and a seasoned steak is massive. The taste difference is unbelievable, so make sure we are seasoning our steaks. And the final one for this would be making sure you rest your steaks before putting on a plate. This gives the juices time to go around the full body of the meat, and also lets the meat relax as well. So 3 key points for steaks: letting it breathe, not straight from the packet; season before cooking; and letting it rest before putting it on the plate for the customer. Just want to talk about stocks, as I've got the opportunity to talk to you about them, and it's really important for now until the end of the year, but this is be the same for food and for liquor. Line checks, making sure we're 100% compliant on key items. The phrase key is really important, so if you're losing stock on chicken, gammon and steaks, don't line check sugar, cheese and barbecue sauce. Make it relevant for your site and your problems. If not, you're sort of wasting your time. So it's really important that if you've got issues, you line check those issues. That way you know where the problem is. I know I line checked it on Tuesday. X amount went missing. A chef was on at that point, so I need to speak to that chef about where the issue was. Entering wastage on a Monday correctly. So you need to fill in your wastage in your food safety book on a daily basis. But on a Monday, when you're entering the stock, when you're on that line, so if you get to applesauce, you type the F5 button, which is the waste adjustment button. It will come up applesauce. You type in how much wastage. That way it gets put on the correct line. Entering any petty cash on the day of purchase, again really important, we'll go a bit more about this later on. Checking and amending your deliveries on the day. This is really key, that when you place your order, you print off your delivery note. Then when the order comes in, you're checking it off. Then if anything's missing, you're going on acquire on the day of delivery and amending the quantities. After that, you need to contact K&N, either through email or phone, to raise a credit. The only items that will not be raised a credit through K&N would be fresh meat and fresh fruit and veg. That has to be a PQS. Accepting internal transfers on the day of the transfer. Again, this is really important. This is one that's caught out some of our sites recently. So if I transfer 400 burgers to you on a Tuesday and you don't accept it to the Monday afterwards, the other sites, you know, that person may have already done their stock by then. It's gonna skew both stocks. So it's really important. It's also good behaviour as well, and good respect to the other pub. They're helping you out, so make sure it's accepted on the day. Using the correct reports, analyse your stock and investigate the losses before accepting. So again, just a recap on that: retail for food, traditional for liquor, and the reporting needs to be stock and holding with variance, cost and yield. Again, don't just accept your stock if you see your result as being, in your eyes, good, so £20 down or £20 up. Investigate the lines. You may, in those losses, somewhere there may be a £600 surplus or £600 deficit that's being masked by the other problems in the stock. Portioning out key and problematic items. Again, we talked about that earlier in the prep section, also with the prep and power planner. And this is a really important one. Contact your food ops, AKC, BDM on Monday if your stock has a variance of plus or minus £50, and that is unnegotiable if you're a focus site. So just going through some basics of stocks. Ideally count your stocks on a Sunday night. If you're printing your sheets on a Sunday morning or Saturday night, as some people do, make sure you report the stocks. If not, you'll be doing a 5 or 6 day stock. General manager should count the stock at least once a month to ensure accuracy. Ideally, should be involved every week until figures improve. Stocks should be counted and entered as early as possible on Monday to allow time for analysing and recounting if needed. So if you're done your count on a Sunday, Monday morning, your stock's all entered and accounted for before like 11 o'clock, that is absolutely perfect, because if you can come 12 o'clock, the pub's open, or 11 o'clock depending on which site you are. Pub's open, people are coming into your business, food's going out the kitchen, people are getting distracted. If you're counting after that time, it's going to be an absolute nightmare. So it's really important for accuracy of your stock that it's done in good time. So stock should be accepted by 4 PM at the very latest, and all areas of the building must be checked for stock, so dumb waiters, cupboards, dry store, hotel cupboards, etc. Fridges and freezers need to be clean and organised in order to get the most accurate stocks. Just want to touch on recycling. Obviously, this is going to be massive in the next financial year, and you've already obviously been doing this for quite some time now. On Mark McGuigan's division, we have an opportunity of £385,000 in terms of recycling. We sit sort of middle in the pack in terms of the other divisions, but there is still lots of work to do. This is really important. This is a recycling waste transfer note. So we had some feedback that, one, you're not getting this, or two, when those drivers are filling it in, it doesn't match what they've taken away. So if you are having issues, can you let either myself know or your food ops person? We can flag it up, but it's really important that this is filled out correctly and you're getting the credits for what you actually take back and recycle, or what they take back and recycle. So recycling, so obviously it's really good to recycle, but for the biggest part for me would be the money you get for it. So sites will receive £2 credit for returning cages, totes, plastic bags and oil tubs. So a full cage is £2.50, credited back to your P&L. A soft plastic bag and hard plastic bag, £2.50. Oil tub, £2.50 as well, and totes, £2.50. So for a standard site on the right-hand side, you've got an example of how much credit they'll get. So one full cage, 2 oil tubs, 1 tote, and 1 plastic bag return would be about £12.50. But some of your busier food sites and bigger pubs, you know, that we've got some that are getting maybe £30, £40 per delivery back, and they have 3 deliveries a week. So that's £120 on your P&L each week, and over a month that's £480 just going straight onto your bottom line. So it's really important that we follow this. as we are going to be monitored on this next year as well. Just a little bit about good practice, bad practice about your yards. Obviously, one, it helps aid recycling, but two, EHO, NSF, they always look in the bin yard, so it's really important that they are clean and tidy, and we are making the best of recycling. We have been asked to put this in, and I think this is really a really important message about allergens and the control of allergens. So please take note now, but this is all we getting sent to you, but can you please share this with your teams as well? So legal requirement for all food businesses to handle and manage allergens adequately. This includes providing our guests with accurate information regarding the allergens contained within our products. Customer asks for information on a specific allergen. Staff must refer to the current allergen data. This must be held behind the bar in your allergen folder and be accessible and known by every member of the team. So, in a nutshell with that one, if somebody asks for allergen information, you give them the folder, don't guess the information, and everyone in the pub should know where the allergen folder is. It shouldn't be, I don't know where it is, but we need to know where it is, and everyone in that team needs to know where the allergen folder is. For any reason, if an employee is unclear on the allergen content of a specific dish, they should be entirely honest and explain they do not currently have that information. Again, if you don't know, be honest with the customer, don't guess, because that could be disastrous. So really important, never try to guess or remember the allergen content of individual dishes. Mistakes can be extremely costly. It wouldn't be intentionally, but don't panic if you've got a massive queue at the bar, somebody's trying to order food and they're asking about allergens. It's very easy to get distracted, but just try and focus on, look, I'll get you the allergen information, please look at it and let them make an informed choice. Don't guess, and don't make the decision on their behalf. Please remember that the allergen data relates only to the ingredients which are used in the dishes we serve. We are unable to confirm any other dishes are free from any allergen due to the risk of cross-contamination in our kitchens. So this refers to when we're buying our goods, we only buy from K&N, so that's our nominated supplier. All our specs and allergens are related to K&N products. So if you pick sites that are buying out, this can't happen. If you're going out, there is a policy for buying out, but this is only an emergency purposes only, and is by your BDM permission, and you must follow the policy. So it's fresh milk, fruit and veg, but going out to buy burger buns or chips because you haven't ordered them, we can't do that. If you have issues on deliveries, you need to let your food ops person know, and there's a way we can help you get the products recovered. Also, I just want to clarify that we cannot ever say we're free from or 100% guarantee anything in terms of allergens. Our kitchens have cross-contamination risk. There's gluten in the air. Same with our suppliers and where the products are made. It can never be 100% guarantee. So these are the 14 allergens that we must legally display on the allergens. So you'll see these in your allergen folders. Please remember, if a guest highlights they're allergic to food items that are not on this 14 list, we are unable to fully guarantee the ingredient. If any unanswered questions that a guest may have regarding allergens, please refer them to a guest relations team. As I said before, gluten-free is a legal description. That means the food is completely free from gluten. But in Green King, this does not describe any food items because we can't guarantee that due to our kitchens. So Green King has placed in procedures and allergen training to ensure that all team members are trained on allergen awareness. Key areas of the training focus on most common allergens, how to deal with allergen inquiries, and the importance of providing the correct information. Green King also working with local authorities, government bodies to ensure that we are correct in how we produce and describe our food. Green King are carrying out regular audits just to see how we're doing in terms of how we're using and how efficient we are in terms of allergens. So as long as you follow what we discussed previously in terms of always giving the customer the allergen folder, never making the decision for them. If you don't know or not sure, please tell them, don't guess it. We can never guarantee that anything is 100% free of anything. So allergen information, as before, all our ingredients are sourced from reputable suppliers whose allergen status is known. This goes same for the specs. The specs are based on ingredients that we have allergens for. If any chefs are on here and you're adding items to the dish that aren't on the spec, you are making that makes the allergens void. Again, that is making it very high risk. Green King do not permit pubs and restaurants to purchase food locally. All food must be purchased via central procurement. Residual stock, unless directed otherwise through support centre comms, all use of residual stock, which includes previous menus products, are forbidden. You must use your residual stock stickers. And finally, on allergens, on the day of menu go live, the new Spring/Summer 19 allergen sheets will be made available on the vault. These must be printed before service, and the current AW18 menu sheets in your folders must be destroyed. There will also be an action on the vault to say this task has been done. This must be also completed immediately. The reason we don't send out the allergen sheets weeks or days in advance is because sites will print them off, then we'll be at the risk of giving the customer the wrong allergen information. So it's really important that between the evening of the last day of the menu, so the Monday, and the menu go live day on Tuesday the 19th, those are printed off, the old ones are destroyed, and we do the action on the vault. So just going to go on to the new menu items now. I'll go through this in more detail and I'll send this out. That's quite small on the screens, but just going to go through the new dishes and changes through the specs. So dish change, moved from the garlic slices. Now the garlic sheet batter has now moved to garlic slices, and this will be 4 slices for a portion. That's the same for the garlic bread, for the garlic bread and cheese, sorry. Portion size for mushrooms is moving to 10 from 11. Burnt ends, so this is on all the burnt ends on the menu. So this example here is the waffled fries. So we're removing additional 40 grams of Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce from it and adding in 20 grams of burnt ends. This is just sort of to bulk it out. The feedback was there wasn't enough meat in the burnt ends, so we've added 20 grams into burnt ends and took out 40 grams of barbecue sauce. So again, on go live, it's really important that the guys in the kitchen know this adjustment, because that will affect your stock, because obviously the burnt ends is more expensive. Dish change, removing the cheese from the nachos and replacing the ciabatta with the garlic bread slices. Coleslaw removed from all subs and wraps. Mushrooms removed from all steaks and the mixed grill. 5-ounce rump and mixed grill also moved to the 4-ounce. All burgers have had coleslaw removed and have now been replaced with 20 grams of ketchup. So first new dish, this is a gourmet burger. So this is the same setup as your current cheese and bacon burger. Obviously the difference will be the ketchup and the coleslaw. But on here we're just putting one egg on top, so that's just making it gourmet, and that's also available as a double up. So really easy change for that one. Next one is the 2 kilogram barbecue chicken wings. That's 54 chicken wings into the fryer, and that is with 320 grams of Texas barbecue sauce. Just need to heat the barbecue sauce up for 20 seconds and just toss the wings into the barbecue sauce and serve. Again, that's really good if you think of what we discussed in the marketing brief about sports being really central of our offer. Think of a group of people coming in to watch the football. 2 kilos of barbecue wings, really good offer. A few pints of beer, really going to drive spend ahead. This is a new veggie burger. This is also available as vegan. This is a miso and hoisin burger. This is going across all brands within locals. So the spec for this is one of the miso and hoisin burger. That's from frozen in the Merry Chef for about 3.5 minutes at 75%. But when you do this back at site, it's really important that you do experiment with your equipment. Everyone's slightly got different equipment and different settings and different ages of the equipment, so it's all different. So please make sure you do try this. Brioche bun, toasted both sides. On the bottom, spread the mayonnaise, then iceberg lettuce, then your burger, then 40 grams of sweet chili sauce, and then the bun on top. That's served with 150 grams of fries and your 20 grams of ketchup. This is also available as a vegan option, but to make it vegan, and on the vegan menu, it will be a vegan bun. So we cannot use the brioche bun because we've got butter in, so it'll be a vegan bun. And the chips, or the fries, sorry, can't go on the fry, they need to go on the Merry Chef. So really important that when you are doing it for a vegan, they have a vegan bun and also a vegan fries. Surf and Turf Cluck, just obviously scampi on the top, steak and chicken, 3 onion rings, so that's coming on. Dessert wise, banoffee pie, from Defrost you get 12 in a cake. They're already pre-cut and they're separated by some baking paper, parchment. Again, really nice product. 30 grams of toffee sauce, ice and sugar, and a scoop of vanilla ice cream. Sticky toffee pudding. This is our Macmillan donation pudding for this year. Again, you can do it from defrost or frozen, but in the microwave, again, you need to play with the timings on that one. Serve with custard and ice and sugar. And that's it for the new menu items. These are your additions, deletions. You have got them, but again, I will send this out so you have it in, again if you need it. So the new products are banoffee red, the garlic slices, the miso burger, and the sticky toffee pudding. So where you can, try and sort of decrease the items below. You have about just under 3 weeks for the menu go live. So really important that we start decreasing where you can on these items, and you think that the slow sellers sort of don't need to order anymore. So still want you to do the back of house cook off at your site. Go through the dishes we've just gone through. Try the miso burger, how it comes out in the Merry Chef. Try the gourmet burger and try the desserts. Go through key quality indicators, but also think about what we talked about before about consistency from the kitchen. So items getting prepped, are we using our prep and par, things being portioned out. Talk about the top 10, especially from a kitchen point of view. Yes, we've got some new dishes and the menu's doing really well in terms of benchmarking, but that will only continue if you keep nailing the fish and chips, the gammon, the steaks, the burgers. They're our core offer. We're really good at that. We need to maintain that consistency. There will be a list of cook-off buttons, and they'll be on the till on what you can cook off and how many to cook off in good time. I'll send these out as well with the slides from today and the video. I just want to talk to you before I go about the menu launch. So talked a lot about consistency and quality. So as I said, the benchmarking of the current value menu is doing really well. So it goes to show the work and the investment they put in October has worked, and you've really done well with the menu. I think it's been a big increase of what we were doing before. So there've been a few slight tweaks this time round. There'll be more changes in the autumn winter. But what we have got, we need to really push and go with in these pubs. Look at the menu when you get the menus on the week beginning the 4th of March, and there's a big section on the sports feeding. That is major for a lot of your pubs, your busy sports pubs. You're packed on big football days or rugby days or big fight nights. Really push that sports section of that menu. Think of how it's going to come out of the kitchen. Are we set up for success? Have we got the prep sorted? Is the kitchen laid out? Are we doing our defrost properly? Is all the equipment in the right place? Is the oil being filtered? Are we looking after our steaks? Are we letting them breathe before putting them on the grill? Are we seasoning them? Are we letting them rest? 3 simple things with the steak. The quality will just, if you're not doing that, the quality when you do that will be massive. So it's really important that you follow that. Always remember about the stock control. There's always little bits and pieces we can always pick up, but for me, the allergen bit as well. We're getting there with it, but it's really important that we don't drop the ball on this. Don't make a decision up to the customer. Let them decide. Don't buy anything out and don't add anything different to the plate. I'm going to send out a menu launch plan. So it's going to be a blank sheet and just some, on the left-hand side, be some blank comments that you need to fill in. So what are you going to do at your pub to launch this menu? Is it going to be something through social media? Is it going to be something with a local football team or a local quiz? How are you going to get customers enticed into the new menu? Are you going to invite the regulars in? Are you going to get old customers in that we've let down, or we're going to go to the office down the road and bring them back into the pub? Think about how you're going to launch this on the 19th of March. It's not just going to happen by you open up the pub doors on Tuesday morning. It needs to be thought through. You need to think about how this can land, because on the back of this is going to drive sales for the weeks and months to follow. So we're going into really key trading period after the menu launch. Now you've got Easter, Mother's Day, and you've got the summer coming up. So it's really important that we land this well. It's a big opportunity to really drive sales and spend ahead, and also increase customer satisfaction. If you have got any questions at all, please just email them to myself, Paul Beadling at greenking.co.uk. I will be sending out the full presentation and the video and all the information you need, but if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. Find out the answer for you. You might not always know them, but we'll get someone who knows the answer to you. If there's anything else, please just email us, email myself, or email your food ops person, but you get all the information by the end of the week. Thanks a lot for listening, and take care. Thank you.